History has been made with the 2008 presidential election, and I went out to speak with students to get their take on the nation's new president-elect. On November 4, 2008, the United States elected its 44th president, Barack Obama. This election was not only historical, but also life-changing for many Americans.
I spoke to people to find out why they voted for John McCain or for Barack Obama.
I supported Senator Obama because I felt like he was definitely the change that we needed in Washington. I think for too long we had an administration that put the interests of CEOs before rebuilding flooded cities and didn't really pay attention to the environment and didn't care about those issues that I'm most concerned with, which are senior citizens' rights, students' rights, and environmental rights. And Senator Obama portrayed the change that I thought we desperately needed in Washington.
John McCain, just mainly because of his experience, and his campaign didn't seem to do as much blatant back talking. I mean, it happens on both sides, but it wasn't 3 and 4 different numbers as far as, you know, income, where the taxes were going to be, and the coal industry and things like that.
I supported Barack Obama, and for many reasons. Financially, he had a really good fiscal policy. I think that he has a lot of good ideas, and I think that we really need change.
People then spoke about why they like Barack Obama and support his policies.
Well, I really like his tax policy because I've always kind of felt that a homogenous blend is what we need. I mean, I don't think the bottom half of society should have to be burdened by taxes when we're burdened by everything else, healthcare, etc. And I think that his healthcare policy is really exciting.
It's going to start looking at the war in Iraq and finding a sensible, responsible solution to it. I think you're going to start seeing troops being withdrawn within a year, as he said he would do. I think you're going to see some changes in the way we operate in terms of a global conflict. I think you're going to start seeing Guantanamo Bay is certainly going to be shut down, I feel like, within the first few months of an Obama administration. I think you're going to see him use his executive orders to say we're not as a nation going to torture. I think you're going to see legislation come forward in terms of environmental legislation that's going to be pushed. You're going to see him making, obviously, changes in the cabinet, which are going to have real meaningful impacts on things like veterans affairs, things like education, the EPA, and of course he's probably within the next year or two going to have to make an appointment to the U.S. Supreme Court, which could take the way we as a nation function in a completely different direction if he appoints a liberal justice to the Supreme Court. I
liked that he had an idea of getting us out of the war. I didn't like the quickness in which he was talking about doing it. I didn't like his redistribution of wealth and the way he plans on doing that. I think that his national health care is a good idea, but that with the government interaction, it is one step close to socialism and nationalizing it. And I personally don't want that much government involvement in my life.
People then spoke about how they thought it would have been different if John McCain and Sarah Palin had been elected.
I think that the main weaknesses why McCain lost is because it was the status quo. It was the same thing we kept hearing. And I think that Sarah Palin was a really big scare for a lot of people.
We would have a larger presence in Iraq still because McCain seemed to me to understand that, you know, even if you don't agree that we're supposed to be there, we're there now, and you can't just, you know, say, okay, we're done, good luck, because our status in the world now is up in the air, to say the least, and, you know, to go in and stir that up and to pull out would not help any, I don't think.
Well, I think our deficit would continue to rise. I mean, I think that this war obviously is a big financial burden.
Well, I think certainly, you know, John McCain wasn't talking about lowering or making it more affordable for students to go to college. I think John McCain wasn't talking about ending those tax loopholes that allowed companies to ship jobs overseas. He wasn't talking about climate change in the way that it needed to be talked about. He wasn't talking about saving Social Security. He wasn't talking about you know, addressing pollution and global warming. He wasn't talking about making prescription drugs more affordable. So all these issues that he wasn't really concerned about, and according to his voting record in the U.S. Senate, that he wasn't really at any point in his career concerned about, I think those issues wouldn't be brought to the table, and I think the American people wouldn't be better off for it.
Everyone believes that Barack Obama is going to bring great change to our nation.
Well, I think he's a sincere man. I think he's honest. I think he really he came from an environment as a community organizer where he got to see really what it's like to be an American. I mean, this is a guy who, not too long ago was still paying off student debts. So he really has an understanding of what it's like to be an average, ordinary American. And I think with him in the White House, that's going to have, it's going to make the American voice heard in a way it's never been heard before by a president. I really feel like, and also with this Democratic Congress, I think he's going to have an opportunity to really get some of those issues out there that President Clinton wasn't able to do, President Carter wasn't able to do, because he does have the mandate that a Democrat has never really had before in my lifetime, and certainly not in the last 50 years.
I think with the way he's wanting to take the country, and just with him being being elected, it says a lot of how far the country's come in relatively a short period of time compared to the rest of the world.
I just think it's so exciting that our generation is what made history. The young voter demographic actually came out for this election, which they never have. They've talked about it, but never actually done it. Like, I drove people to the polls all day, and I think that just being involved is a major thing. I think that Barack Obama's lack of experience is an issue, but I think that his legitimate care for the people, for what people want, that's a change in and of itself, and that's going to do something.
Well, I think Senator Obama, when he was out there campaigning for 2 years, really got his message out very clear. And so the American people had an opportunity to hear that, and they came out in droves and supported Senator Obama. And so I think with the overwhelming mandate that he has and Democratic Congress, you're going to see significant change very quickly.
The expectations of Barack Obama are high, but he can't do it alone. We all must contribute every day for the change that we desire. For Mountain Highlights, I'm Leslie Swann with photographer Brittany Wilson.